Hey everyone, and welcome to Just Love's Chat Space. My name is Paula and I'm here with Judy. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
Today we're going to talk about intention. So Judy, this is the time that we're starting to remember who we are and why we're here, and it's all starting to make sense. Do you agree?
Yes, Paula, definitely.
Okay, so even though you work up on the ship and are privy to information that we don't, maybe that's not so much of a positive. It could make things less easy for you down here. Anyway, you do seem to hold a lot of love, compassion and empathy for humanity and Mother Earth, and you still are a human being. So do you agree that this is the time that we are starting to remember who we are, why we are here, and that it's all starting to make sense? Obviously, we're in a shift in consciousness, and this shift has been happening for a very long time, and now it's more profound, more visible and more tangible.
Yeah, more people are starting to awaken to who they really are and why they're here, and hopefully it's beginning to make sense, although so many are still feeling very confused and lost. It's hard for us at times, looking from the ET perspective. It can be frustrating because we can see all the lying, trickery, control and exploitation going on, and how people are being sucked in big time. This past year has been a huge challenge for so many. If we really spoke out about what we see and feel, we'd upset some people. We don't want to do that, and it's not our job to do that, as it would interfere with people's own ability to learn how to sense into 5D. We have to just stand back, maybe drop subtle hints every now and then, but allow people to make their own free will choice of whether to wake up or not. We can clearly see the tests being put in place down here on school planet Earth. These tests often involve the negative side saying and doing things that appeal to the not-so-pleasant side of human nature. It really is like putting a hot poultice onto a deep-seated infection to bring all the nasty stuff to the surface. It saddens us to see just how many get drawn into the fear choice rather than the love choice. However, recent events have boosted our faith in the better side of human nature, which is a great relief.
Oh, that's good. So who are we and why are we here? Why is it making more sense now? Everything that we've done along our spiritual path, everything we've learnt, all of our earth school training is starting to make sense. We are not in our physical body to be in conflict or to be in competition. We are not. We are here to unify and to cooperate and to connect.
Yes, Paula, for sure. And recent events show that this is what the majority of people do want. People are sick of all the conflict, ego, prejudice and competition. People just want to get on with living their life, doing their job and raising their families in peace and harmony. I've actually been reading a beautiful book by Reiki Master Frans Stiene entitled The Inner Heart of Reiki. Frans has done years of study with spiritual masters in Japan, and as he says, at our core we are all bright shining lights. This is our true self, but down here in 3D Earth we place lampshades over our light. Our ultimate quest or task is to remove these shades through spiritual practice in order to enable our great inner light to shine forth. The lampshades are composed of anger, worry and fear, all of which block our inner light of love, compassion, kindness and sense of gratitude, both for ourselves and for others. This takes a lot of focus, practice and training, but it's so worthwhile to do this work to the best of our ability for a happy and healthy life.
I like that, the lampshade analogy.
Beautiful,
We're
isn't
dimming
it?
our light.
I love him saying that.
I really like it. So you do talk about us being in training, Judy. Well, it's like the training is starting to make sense. We really do know what to do. It's just a matter of being truly focused, really focused on that now moment and finding the learning, which is readily available to all of us. As Frans says, we are all truly a great inner light at our core. Remembering that we're in training to come back to centre and acknowledge this may not be easy, but at least we know what to do. The choice is much clearer now.
Yes, the correct focus is always love, kindness, compassion and gratitude. Fear, anger and worry cause us to lose our focus. The 5 principles of Reiki are, just for today, do not worry, do not anger, show gratitude and humility, be honest in your spiritual practice, be compassionate to yourself and others. The Eightfold Path of Buddhism is right views, right thoughts, right speech, right acts, right living, right effect, right mindfulness and right meditation. These are all really useful tools for everyone to meditate on to assist in keeping our focus in the right place. And herein lies a little test. If your reaction to this suggestion is, oh no, I can't do that, it goes against my religion or belief system, this is ego rearing its ugly head. True spirituality does not make such judgments.
And on that note, yes, this is the time. Enough of the divide, enough of perpetuating the separation and the ego and the prejudice. Yes, we are still living in 3D. We're in physical form, we are in polarity, we are in divide, but it's kind of like the choice is clear. Things are beginning to be not so heavy. The choice is becoming lighter and brighter. We're also learning how to reclaim our power. We're noticing more and more where and when we're giving our power away. We're also hopefully seeing more clearly that nobody actually has done anything to us. We make it happen. We allow what is taking place by giving our power away unconsciously. We've been programmed from the beginning to do this. It's unconscious. We've been giving our power away to people in authority without questioning it. We've been giving our power away to health systems, to politicians, to religion, almost 100% without realizing that we have the power within us. We have the ultimate power. It can help to reach out, but at the end of the day, we are the ones who hold the ultimate power. That divine power is within us. Some of us have been taught to a certain degree that the ultimate power lies within us, but now we are waking up to how potent this power really is.
Yes, this is the great bright inner light that Frans talks about in his book. We all have God's source energy within us, but focus and dedication is needed to bring it fully to the surface. Every single human being has this. In fact, every sentient being in the universe has it. The key to finding it lies in clearing away all our lampshades that hide it from view. I love that concept.
Yeah, it's good. That's right, and it starts with you. It absolutely has to start with yourself. And it's about you. It's about how you react and how you respond. It's about knowing that everybody has their journey. And regardless of how their journey is playing out, we still have to emit that love and light, compassion and empathy, and most especially when you don't agree with them or they have differing opinions. Everything is great when things are going the way you want them to, but we are in training. We are learning now to be at peace with everyone, regardless of their view, regardless of what they think, regardless of whether it's different from ours. That's the unifying element in the equation that will bring us into oneness. This is true unity in diversity. Have your opinions and then go out and have lunch together. When you do this, you're standing in a higher state of consciousness and maturity, which will impact upon all of humanity, all of the collective, and Mother Earth herself. This is why we're here and how we are waking up by doing this work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Paula. This is what 5D consciousness is all about, having respect for others and compassion for others, regardless of their opinions, belief system, culture, or whatever. What a boring place Earth would be if there were no differences. Everyone is entitled to follow their own beliefs and have their own personal opinions, but they in turn must respect the beliefs and opinions of others. This actually brings up an interesting point about the ETs, and most especially the Greys. To many Earth human eyes, the Greys all look identical and are often accused of being a robotic hive culture. Now, okay, the programmed life forms that are used in the faked military abductions, the MyLabs, the ones that Dr. Stephen Greer refers to as PLFs, are like that. They're basically biorobotic clones that have been manufactured right here on Earth. So yes, they are identical and totally programmed, but the genuine Greys like the Zetas are not. To Earth human eyes that can't see past 3D or even 4D, they may appear to be identical, but they're not. Up on the ships, we work together very much in oneness as a collective consciousness, but everyone still has their own ideas, opinions, likes, dislikes, etc. But these differences never become conflicts between us. It did happen long, long ago in our past when conflict and competition led to a major war, but we learnt our lesson and evolved, coming to understand that such behaviour always ends in tears. If you wish to evolve as a planetary culture, you must learn to stop fighting and competing. In our off-planet culture, even if we don't particularly like somebody or agree with them, we still respect them and wouldn't dream of hurting them. We'd just allow them to be.
Good lesson. I feel like over the last 8 or 9 months since this pandemic, I've learnt to be more compassionate and empathetic, and most of all, to allow other people their journey. Knowing that I don't have to have an opinion, and if I do have an opinion, I don't have to voice it. For me, knowing that is freedom. I'm responsible for my own journey, and that's enough. The example of my own journey is what is going to express any opinions that I have anyway. Knowing that you don't have to have an opinion or voice any opinions that you do have also means that you have to allow everyone else their journey. Because if you have the right to choose whether you have an opinion and when to voice it, so do they.
And isn't it amazingly freeing? I love that too. It takes the pressure right off. And in other words, the way you walk your talk is truly what counts. Forcing your opinion onto others is disrespectful. Nobody has the right to do that. We have more than enough to occupy our minds in living our own journey to the best of our ability. We don't have the time or the right to interfere in the journey of others. This is why the genuine ETs don't just land here openly and announce themselves. Sure, it might satisfy people's curiosity and prove a point, but it could potentially do more harm than good. Firstly, to take away the human incentive to evolve to higher dimensional consciousness, but also think of all the damage done down here when one culture or religion decides to take over or convert another culture or religion, no matter how well-meaning they are. Missionaries have caused many problems by forcing their beliefs onto so-called primitive societies. In many cases, they interfered with a much more spiritually awakened society than their own, along with introducing diseases that decimated the previously healthy society. Such invasion is strictly against cosmic law.
Yeah, that's true. So we're watching so many polarities and divisions play out on Earth right now, and as human beings, we will have a reaction. So take note of that reaction. It's like you have to know where you are in order to get to where you want to be. So notice your reaction. It's not always going to be positive. In fact, it's probably going to be more negative than positive these days. So notice what the reaction is, feel into it, and then elevate yourself above it. You know what is playing out. You are looking at divisiveness and separation, and this divisiveness and separation is coming up to be cleared. So that is a good thing to be aware of, and it's part of the plan, the bigger picture.
Precisely. And that's why I asked everyone to take note of their reflex action to the earlier question and answer when I brought up the 5 Reiki principles and the Eightfold Path of Buddhism. Every component of these precepts are virtues that need to be embraced by all belief systems. The outer label of Reiki and Buddhism isn't the point and shouldn't be an issue, no matter what belief system you follow.
Yeah. So all of these polarities and divisions playing out is a reminder for you to come from a higher consciousness, come from love, empathy and compassion, as opposed to pointing the finger and blaming, being angry and being in fear, which, as you all know, is only going to perpetuate more of what is. Fear shuts down the part of the brain that helps provide solutions for health and clarity, which is another good reason to choose love over fear.
Exactly. In fact, it's actually quite sad because there's so much fear being spread about the COVID thing. But all this fear being generated does way more damage to people's immune systems and state of mental health than the COVID's doing.
Yeah. So when you really start to get the fact that that the consciousness of Mother Earth and the whole collective will shift when you hold a higher state of consciousness, then it doesn't really matter what other people are thinking or saying. It doesn't matter whether you connect with what they are saying or doing or not. What does matter is the fact that you are allowing them their journey and that you yourself are coming from a higher state of consciousness. That higher state of consciousness will shift us. That's why we're here. We're here to assist in the shifting.
We sure can, yes. And we can only do this by that free will choice of love over fear. There's just so much conflicting and fear-oriented information being put out at the moment. The net is flooded with it. Lots and lots of potential rabbit holes to go down and get lost in. And most of it is disinformation, or else based on truth but hugely exaggerated. This is being done on purpose to pull you into fear or else hopelessness when you hear that something seemingly big and important that you pinned your hopes on is really not as it's claimed to be. How often has this happened? With psychic predictions of mass sightings or landings of UFOs, then nothing comes of it. This then provides a field day for all the skeptics and cynics.
Yeah.
Along with all this hyperbole and fake claims, we have loudmouth posturing and lying going on at government level. But in the higher scheme of things, all of this is simply to provide opportunities for humanity to choose love or fear, bottom line.
Judy, all of this can sound like we're being neutral, but what this really means is that we're holding an intention, and we have faith that intention is going to play out. That intention is for love and light to be seen and to be felt and to be lived by every single human being on planet Earth. So what I wanted to ask you here was, when you're up on the ship and you're watching what's playing out and you can see that a lot of us are getting the learnings, we are in training and we're doing well. So keeping in mind that you cannot interfere, do you hold an intention for us?
Oh, goodness, yes. Our intention is for Earth plane humanity to stop fighting and learn to live in peace and harmony. It's that simple. We've been there, done that, and we've come out the other side. We know it can be done, and we also know where the pitfalls lie and how easy it is for your feet to slip off the path. The bottom line is, for those who don't learn this lesson, you'll just have to go back and start again, bearing in mind that this is an individual choice for every person on Earth, so don't be scared. For those of you who are mastering the lessons on planet Earth, things will improve. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yay. Judy, I really want to bring home here how important intention really is. If you have a specific intention for us, I think that will really assist us on Earth, knowing and hearing from you whatever you deem most significant for us now. What's your intention for us as we navigate these unprecedented times? We know that you would have many intentions for us, like you've just said, but can you tell us a little bit more? Do you sit around in a circle like we do and meditate for us like we do for our Mother Earth? Your life is so different there to what it is here, and I just wanted you to talk a little bit more about that to us.
Yeah, okay. As mentioned, our intention is for Earth plane humanity to stop all the useless fighting and to learn to live together in peace and harmony. This entails letting go of fear, of which ego is a big part, and embracing unconditional love. This is the reason why my main focus here on Earth is religion, because unconditional love, which includes compassion, humility and respect for self and others, should be what religion is based on. This is of vital importance because it's religion on Earth that people generally look to for spiritual guidance. But all too often they're instead led down a path of divisiveness and ego, such as, my God is better than your God, or my religion is superior to your religion, mine is right, yours is wrong. So many wars have been fought and people killed because of religion, and this is an absolute tragedy. Religion should be about unconditional love, nothing less. We do meditate up on the ship and we send waves of light energy to Earth. We sit in a circle with an image of Earth in the middle and we visualise waves of light of all colours of the spectrum and higher being directed to the planet and people. Our intention is to assist in the magnification of the waves of natural cosmic light that are now flooding Earth.
Oh, I love that. I love it. So there's also been a number of reports that people are seeing craft in the skies. No doubt there are craft in the skies and more people are seeing them. Is this because more people are coming into 5D and opening up their ability to see into other dimensions?
Yes, more people are waking up to 5D awareness and seeing our ships, but at the same time, some of these craft being seen are from right here, manufactured on Earth, so they're not genuine off-planet ships. It's also really important to understand that 5D awareness is not so much about seeing things outside of yourself. 5D is more to do with awakening to your own inner light and accessing deeper self-realisation of what and who you really are. Seeing visions is more 4D oriented, which is okay, but self-realisation is more important. This is where 5D comes into the picture.
I like that you said 5D is more to do with awakening to your own inner light.
Yes.
That's really nice.
Yes.
It's like you've said, we're in the best school in the universe, and what's happening here is of interest to all of the universe because what happens here affects the rest of the universe. Is this where it's all happening? Like, does everybody want the front row tickets to the show, so to speak, to see what's playing out on planet Earth? Do you all want to lend your assistance to cheer us on, to be by our side? Can you comment on this?
Oh, yes, we sure do. It's a huge event when a planetary civilization passes their end-of-year exams and graduates to a higher energy frequency. When a planetary collective awakens to their inner light, their God essence, so they can become empowered enough to take their rightful place in the cosmos, it's a great excuse for a party as it enhances the whole of creation, making everything shine more brightly. So yes, we do celebrate.
Good. Well, in our last chat space, we spoke about how some of us may be feeling lost. This can be either on a personal level or on a collective level. We're leaving behind paradigms and beliefs that operate from 3D consciousness. We're leaving behind fear-based consciousness, and we are moving into love. We're opening up our hearts. Our hearts are expanding. We're coming more and more from our hearts. Having an intention plays a really big part because we have to keep going. Even though we can't see that our desires are tangible just yet, we can intend that we can have everything that we want. Have it all play out from that state of love. We just have to keep going because we are already there. We have already arrived. In every now moment, there is a timeline that we choose, and each timeline has an outcome. So if we choose that particular timeline from love, we are on our way to our intended outcome, no matter what. Love will always prevail. Do you agree with that, Judy?
Okay. Yeah, for sure, Paula.
Yeah.
Love and positivity always prevail in the end. Positivity and love are growth, energy, expansion and empowerment, whereas negativity and fear always implodes and collapses into itself in the end. It may seem to have the upper hand while you keep feeding it, but it's only deluding itself. Coming to understand this is part of the awakening process for Earth plane humanity.
I love that. I really love that. That is so important to emphasize. Love and positivity always prevail in the end because love and positivity are growth, energy, and expansion and empowerment. Negativity and fear always end up imploding and collapsing into itself in the end. It may seem to have the upper hand while you keep feeding it, but it's only deluding itself. Coming to an understanding and realization of this is part of our awakening process. In fact, a major part, I'd say. So on that note, we'll finish this session
with
big hugs, much love, and blessings to all of you from both of us.